We're now with General Services. So Nancy, if you could introduce yourself and your colleagues and then give us a overview of how the year's gone and then talk about your budget ideas for next year.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. With me today is Diana Atwood, who is our Financial Manager in General Services. In the audience, we have Ronnie Winton, who is Radio Communications Manager, Stacy Wall, who is our Fleet Manager, Velvet Hunter, who's Assistant Director for Administration, and Diana Stevens, who's Assistant Director for Building Operations. What I'd like to do this afternoon is start by highlighting a few of our accomplishments over the past year. I've noticed in several of the budget hearings today, you've already heard a lot about some of these accomplishments. So the West Police Precinct at 5500 Charlotte, we've completed that since our last budget hearing. That is, we think, a state-of-the-art facility, and when you look at what was there before and what's there now, we're very, very pleased with that facility. The Goodlettsville Branch Library is another facility that will be a model for other libraries coming on board, and even across the nation. We believe that we have a teens area and a children's area, and there's just a lot of innovative design that went into that building. So another thing that was great for that community. Fire Station 35, which is on Hobson Lane. And then last year when we were here in Metro in Clifford Allen, we were finishing up with moving Metro Social Services into that building, and now Metro Action Commission, we've moved their administrative offices into the building. We currently have several projects under construction. I know Chief Halford mentioned this morning the fire stations, Fire Station 31 in Madison, Fire Station 3 in East Nashville, 33, which is off of Murfreesboro Road, and 21, which is off of Nolensville Road, and we'll soon be doing the groundbreaking at the Jolton Fire Station in the Jolton area. Metro Madison, which is the Myatt Drive property, we have Madison Police Precinct that are in temporary working quarters there while we complete the construction of the new precinct and the crime lab, and we anticipate those to be open in the summer of 2013. We will be selecting an architect for the Douglas Head Start, and we look forward to starting the Midtown Hills Police Precinct and the Hickory Hollow project that includes the Southeast Library and a new regional park. We're very proud of these facilities and the positive change that they have brought or will bring to the Nashville communities and neighborhoods. Moving on to some other accomplishments, for the last 11 consecutive years, the public radio system has been maintained at a 99.99% availability for our public safety workforce. We're in the final stages of the implementation of a comprehensive upgrade to our 800 megahertz radio system. We're going to what the federal government calls P25 compliant, and what that means is that our current system is a Motorola system, and it's proprietary in that the only radios that can be used on that system would be Motorola radios. Going to P25 compliant, other radios can interact or interface with this system. Interoperability across the state will be much better because of the type of system that we're putting. And then the system is about 10 years old, and it's no longer supported by a Motorola. Interoperability is an issue that we continue to work on at the federal, state, and local level. Over the last year, we've added the cities of Mount Juliet and Laverne to our radio system, and we're currently working and exploring the possibility of bringing on the Vanderbilt Police Department and Vanderbilt Life Flight onto the system. eBid Nashville has a new look and feel. I don't know if you've been out to that site lately, but it includes many customer-focused enhancements such as convenient online payment options. One of the things that we've done is we've added a watch list, so if you're interested in buying a Ford Taurus and it comes online, then you would get an email saying that we have Ford Tauruses online, and hoping people will go ahead and bid on those. Moving to Fleet, in 2011, you issued an executive order creating the Fleet Advisory Committee. This committee is made up of department heads across Metro government, and they advise us on fleet policies and procedures. We have eight voting members and one revolving voting members. The Director of Finance, Director of General Services, the Chief of Police, the Sheriff, Director of Public Works, Director of Parks, the fire chief, the director of water services, and the director of code serve on this committee. And we feel very fortunate to have this in place now. We've met 3 times since the executive order was issued, and we're already having a positive impact on our fleet operations. And just a couple of things that we've done, we went to the committee and talked to them about hours of operation and how equipment comes into the heavy garages where we have anything that's over a ton, like fire trucks, garbage trucks, water services, their trucks, ambulances. And one of the things that we recognized was that on Friday nights, we were working 410s instead of 5/8. So Friday nights, we had no one working. And then on weekends, we proposed to go to preventive maintenance schedule on weekends. So starting this in April, we will be working 5 nights a week, and we'll be working weekends, which means when Public Works brings a truck in on Thursday night, then hopefully we'll have that ready to go when they're back in business. I think they're off on, some of them are, off on Mondays and flex out. But we hope this will be a value to our customers and keep equipment on the road. We continue to support the Green Fleet Initiative with flex fuel and hybrid vehicles. We recently went out to bid for propane-fueled mowers, and we have received 2 leafs, and they should be ready for the employees at Fulton campus and here at the courthouse. We have charging stations at Fulton campus. We're working on our training program because there is some training that needs to go along with that as staff.
I didn't get that training.
As staff, start using these cars. Well, training on how to use electric chargers and some of those things. We're also exploring other alternative fuel options such as compressed natural gas and propane gas for trucks and cars. Ford and Chevrolet are now making vehicles that come ready from the factory that are propane and compressed natural gas ready. So we're looking at those. Because of the dedication and commitment of the employees of General Services, we're projecting to be within budget this year. Only if fuel doesn't continue to rise. If we go 50 cents per gallon more on fuel, then we may be submitting a supplemental for fuel. General Services staff are always behind the scenes supporting other metro agencies, and too often are not recognized for the work that they do day to day. So I want to say thank you to them and for all they do and for their commitment throughout the year. Moving on to our proposed budget, a 2% reduction in the amount of $815,600 has been submitted to you. The 2% reduction for building operations is $380,000. This will result in a decrease in security services, janitorial services, and preventive maintenance services for the buildings that we manage. Construction and design will be reduced by around $6,500. This eliminates excess salary and fringe dollars. We had a person that retired, so we had that money savings from a retirement. A reduction of $19,100 in postal services, which that would mean we would not be able to meet the increased need of the Election Commission, and they would have to purchase their own postage and apply that postage. $48,400 is the 2% reduction for the radio communications. We will reduce costs associated with repairs and maintenance. With the new radio system, most equipment will be under warranty during the first year, so this will be a minimal impact to that division this year. OFM reduction is $328,500. Savings will be accomplished through extending the current PM schedule to the recommended manufacturer schedule. And what that means, we have been bringing, this is in the light shop where it's mostly sedans and trucks, light trucks. We've been doing an preventive maintenance at 4,000 miles. We've done oil analysis on the vehicles that are over that, and based on what we're seeing and what the manufacturer is recommending, we can go to 7,000 miles and not do the preventive maintenance. So we're going to be trying that to see how that works, and we do anticipate some savings there. We also will have 2 positions that will be impacted by this reduction. EBID reduction of $19,800 results in the elimination of temporary services which are used in the e-bid warehouse. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to our improvements. We only have two. One is $300,000, which is mostly for utilities at the Hickory Hollow property, and $2.8 million, which is fuel. Last year at this time, unleaded was around 41 cents less than what we're paying today, and diesel was 18 cents, and this is at...
It suddenly dropped in 2.8 million.
No,
We just got a nice quietly got
Our fuel improvement does take in consideration the hedging agreement and the fuel card program we have, and then the projected fuel cost of $3.60 for gas and $4.30 for diesel at the metro site. For hedging, I think, Rich, you can respond to this better than I can, but I think at the end of June of this year, we anticipate about a $1.4 million payback from that hedging agreement. That agreement...
Just for the general services.
Right, for general services, yes.
The payback on that goes in the general fund? Or
Well, yeah, we budgeted, we budget, it's less money than we had a budget for. Because of the savings.
Yeah. So that agreement has been renegotiated, and so we've incorporated that into our fuel projections. We've also submitted a capital budget request that includes future capital projects like the Bellevue Library, the Fire Department's master plan, and a variety of other requests made by departments. I know we're still working on finalizing some of those, so and we'll support departments as we go forward in those. This concludes my comments, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I would note that general services, in terms of, you were at a high of 229 employees in fiscal year '08, and you're down to 162?
67 positions, yep.
Thank you for your good management.
Well, one of the things that we've done in that area, the first thing we did when we knew we had to take those level cuts, is you look at your business model and say, what can we do differently? So we started cross-training some of our employees. We looked at our current contract employees and tried to figure out how we could use those. For example, our security people, when they walk out around at night, they do building checks for us because we don't have building maintenance people on board. We also looked at how our contracts were structured, and we've worked on structuring those where we have the maximum flexibility. So if we need to move services from building to building, we can do that. We no longer want contracts that are specific to a building. We have, janitorial. We work with our contractor saying, where can we cut? So we've really have partnerships with our contractors, and they have worked with us in figuring out where we can reduce our costs. So it's been, it was a good exercise for us as we've gone, and we feel like we are better managers now.
You have done a really good job of emphasizing LEED certification, and you've gotten LEED certification on several buildings. How does that change the way you manage or find savings?
Well, LEED certification, you have certain categories that you have to, I call them high-performing buildings is how I refer to them. And when you have a building at this level, you have to maintain your LEED certification, you have to collect energy data about that building. You have to stay within the LEED standards that we actually got the certification on. So we've had to educate tenants who are in our buildings now. We have policies we've put in place, like small appliance policies. We don't want coffee pots at everyone's desk. We don't want refrigerators under people's desks, because we have to keep our energy savings at our energy at a certain level. So we monitor that. We collect data on that. We are in the process right now and look forward to presenting this to you. But we have a program that we're going to be implementing where it's interactive with the employees of our buildings. It will showcase an office, and you can go in and click and see how you can reduce energy in your office. We also have implemented building automation systems where we manage these buildings. They go into unoccupied states in the evening. We manage our lights. We manage the temperature during cooling season and heating season. We also work with NES and TVA on programs that if we have peak demands, that we can go into what we call an exercise, and we start cutting back on things in a building that are high energy users. We've looked at vending machines, so we have really we have to manage these buildings in order to stay in compliance with LEED and maintain that, but it's a smart way to manage it, and we'll continue to do that.
Yeah, and I would note that for some of the buildings you talked about that you've worked on, particularly the West Precinct, which I think was a beautiful job you did there, and the Peterborough plant in Madison that you're working on. I mean, both of those are really excellent examples of reuse as a building. I mean, the Peterbilt building is enormous, and I think we got it at a good price, and it's great to see that reuse. The West Precinct was a closed car dealership that, I think just by putting the West Precinct where you did in that old car dealership, you strengthen the core of that area of Charlotte in a way that has lots of, beyond environmental benefits, has lots of benefits. And the Hickory Hollow project that you're now getting off on, I think is another really good one.
Yep.
Good. The EBID numbers are fantastic.
EBID, it always has fantastic numbers. This is, I don't know if you recall, years ago, EBID, it was in public property, and we did about $300,000 to $500,000 a year on public auctions. Since we have gone to an online auction, we're over $4 million almost every year in paid sales. So it's an exciting thing. It's one of those, it's self-sufficient. It gives money back to the coffers, but we support our staff through the money that we bring in, and it's almost like a public corporation. It's a real neat concept and one that we're very proud of. And it's been recognized throughout the community and across the state.
Yeah, and you collect, that's been going on since 2002?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good program. Rich?
Just kudos on West Precinct as well. It made the decision to buy that. It looked pretty good. The building, drove by it last night, and
I think it looks great.
It's unbelievable. It looked the building.
Well, and the
yeah.
community and the value the community's already getting out of it. I mean,
As you know, we all took a little grief over that
We
decision
did.
initially. And
We did, but it was
and
a good
obviously a little
decision.
flood came by outside of our control, but it has turned out
Well, it's been
extremely well.
elevated now. It's even
Yeah,
safer.
it's even safer, and it's a great stabilization for that area. So good work by your staff, Diane, everyone on the staff, and on the fleet side. Let me just say that I think that all of us have recognized, with Stacy moving over, kind of into taking over the head of fleet now, that it's a whole different attitude at that operation, and putting the fleet committee together. There seems to be some buy-in to the concept that perhaps we can save some money down the road with the fleet operation and still meet our needs, and that's been some of that, it's attitude on everybody's side, but it's been a good partnership on that thus far, and I see some good potential for some savings down the road on that, and appreciate Stacy stepping up to handle that. He's done an excellent job in all the meetings and go forward, and I think if we, with the fuel cost, I mean, the only area of concern in your budget this year is the fuel cost, and that's really not outside your concern. I mean, I think we need to continue to look for ways to reduce the amount of fuel, and the way to do that is with the hybrid vehicles, or going to the natural gas or propane, and so I know that will be not loved by everyone in the government, and we'll have some naysayers, but I think we got to move in that direction.
Yeah, we're already doing flex fuel those flex fuel options are on all the vehicles that are that come that way. So we have some who are buying ethanol 10 and ethanol 85 at the pump, and we're also buying diesel B5. So we're using that blend, which is cheaper than just regular diesel.
And I've talked to the natural gas people, and they're encouraged by this, and looking for an opportunity to see if they can't get into more gas-powered vehicles for the city.
And then the Leafs that you got, are those going to be used for basically communications between Metro or driving things?
Yeah, we have 2 charging stations at Fulton campus, so they will be there, I guess, at night charging, but we'll have a reservation system, and people from the courthouse or Fulton campus who want to use them are certainly welcome to make reservations for those. But there'll be more of a pool car available to people who, want to use them. Because, there is, I don't know, the range, 40, 50-mile range before before the battery.
Comment on the range?
Nancy went into that one.
You can do just fine with that. That's a good move.
Yeah.
Greg?
No question.
All right, well, good work. Appreciate it. And, I think, Rich has analyzed it exactly right. The issue for you and for us is the increased costs of energy. The number goes up, and it's gone up dramatically, and it's projected to continue to go up into the summer. So you're on the right track, and if we can work our way through it. Thanks a lot for good work.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Mhm.